I want to see with YouTube if I do a live stream in a room that has nothing in the background that's in any way offensive. There's a wardrobe behind me with some tritium defile markers on them. That's the most interesting thing behind me. Got this Geiger counter because for whatever reason, every time I did a short on this, it got a lot more views than my other stuff. So I thought I'd get it out for this stream because it's quite interesting to look at, isn't it? I think with that glowing bit there. So, yeah, anyway, I'll do a stream here. I can't be on too long today because today was one of those annoying days where I've got a couple of jobs I need to do. But more importantly, the annoying thing is I've got a parcel coming that has to be signed for and can't be left, one of those parcels. And it's not very clear what time it's coming. Like, it says it's coming today, but I haven't had an hour time slot or whatever. So I'm constantly kind of on edge if a parcel comes. So one of the other reasons about being in here is I can get to the front door a lot quicker. So, yeah, I'm on. Hopefully we'll get some comments and everything in a minute. The phone stands up. All right, Mike, good to see you on. The phone stands up quite well on its own case, actually. There's not much behind it propping it up. So that's good. So when people go, all that crap behind you, you sleep on your bed, that's my actual bed behind me there, not the one in the other room. So yeah, I'm obviously streaming at the moment. Right, Moff. Quite hard to read the comments though, because the comments are really small on YouTube, and they're all there, but I can see it's Moff and Mike said nice one and Richard said hello. I can just about read them. Without my glasses, I wouldn't have a hope in hell of reading those, but I did actually see when Radioactive was asking me about my glasses the other day that I was actually, I'm overdue having an eye test, but weirdly, because I go to an optometrist, whatever they're called, rather than opticians, optometrists, or whatever the word is. Normally, they're really good at like sending me a letter and giving me a phone call when my appointment's due, but they didn't do it this year. So I might, in the start of next year, when I've got a bit of spare cash, phone them up and get another eye test. But the good thing has been that over the last like few eye tests I've had, and new pairs of glasses, my prescription's much slowed down, in terms of like eyesight degradation or whatever. So that's been the good news anyway, is that basically, like I can wear old pairs of glasses and there's not much difference in them. But these frames are getting a bit old now because they're a couple of years old. Like some of the metal's getting a bit sort of not rusted, but it's going a bit coarse on it. Yeah, exactly, Mike. Exactly that. Sometimes it takes a while. Like I've said before, with the shorts as well, the vertical shorts definitely get more views than the normal videos. Cheers. Exquisite Mad again. I can't read very well. All right, Radioactive, I was just on about my glasses. Are you in Florida, are you? Yeah, but definitely, that's what I said. That's the annoying thing is when I do shorts that are on the like, how would you call it? Like these, essentially. They get way more views than if I do a video that's, like one of my standard videos. And if I do a short that's like, like a regular video, like a widescreen video. But the weird thing was when I did one the other week with those biscuits, a lot of people said they'd finally got a notification for my channel again after like a year of not having one. So it's a bit weird. I really don't know how YouTube does it, but it's like they almost have times where they want to trend a certain type of video or not. But yeah, like I said, the live streams are good. I do notice, Mike, though, whenever I do a live stream with a camera, not a game one, that gets a lot more people on. But weirdly, I think that's just because the game ones are in widescreen again. And when I do them like this, because the silly thing is, like I was saying with the thing about live streams, if I do it with my webcam and it's widescreen, even if I have the exact same background and everything, it sends it to less people than if I do it vertical on my phone. Yeah, exactly. The thing that really annoys me, Mike, it does it a bit with your channel, so I have to bookmark your channel and remember that you're on, but I can see it through your server and everything and that as well. Is what's really, really annoying. There's so many channels I'm subscribed to, I've rung the bell, all that shit. And what will happen is I'll be subscribed to the channel, like watching their videos really regularly when they come out. And then what ends up happening is I haven't seen them do a video for ages, and I think they mustn't have uploaded. So I manually have to remember what the channel's called, because sometimes I can't remember the exact name of the channel, even if you can remember like the name of the person doing the videos or whatever. And then you see that there's been videos like every week for a couple of months, but YouTube's just not sent them you, even though, my front page is filled with like reaction videos and crap I don't watch. So yeah, then I have to like manually bookmark the things and click every one of their videos manually. Are you doing litter picking, are you, Josh? But yeah, it's really annoying because like I was saying, yeah, I get that, dead stock, because obviously when people ask you to go pick something up and show it to the camera, you can do. But yeah, like I was saying, for me at the moment, what was I going to say? Basically, I do need to do an overload test on this using X-rays, but I'm not going to do that on a live stream. Has it turned itself off because I've not had it? I assume this turns itself off. Although that's not very good as a dosimeter, is it, if it turns itself off? Because if you had this on you, measuring your radiation, and then it just randomly turns off because, like I said, I do like the look of this one. It's very flashy looking, but yeah, Habo Tests do, I've got one of their, what do you call it, like with the black and red wires, the multimeters. So it's kind of cool that a company that just makes regular electronics has just done a Geiger count and was like 30 quid. Do I know KFC people? Well, there's a KFC in Oxford if it's still there. So, but the staff in there are just random people, unless you're trying to get at something else, which I'm not going to answer. If you're trying to ask a question like that, you ask it directly. But there is a actually no, there's a KFC on a roundabout not far from me, and I did know one of the blokes that worked there, because one of the blokes that worked there used to work at my job as well at one point. So it was like, you know, one of those people that just does sort of minimum wage type jobs, and he used to be like a cashier there quite often. Oh, there's one thing I really like with the old pen style dosimeters, but I'm not sure where my charger is for it. Let me just grab one. These, I mean, if you get a good one, these have really good battery life. The problem with these, though, is... Oh! Why's that gone off? So the dosimeter's setting it off. That's weird. Hang on. Let's mute that a second. Right, so that says 70 at the moment. I'm going to hold the dosimeter there. If I got a contaminated dosimeter, this will be interesting. So if I put the... No, that dosimeter's not setting it off. Okay, so it's not that one. It's going back down again. What about this dosimeter? Is this one going to set off? No. That's really weird. I don't know why it randomly just went off then. But yeah, the thing I do like with these is the batteries. If you get a good one, especially if like you get a modern one, because people still make these, again, you're not going to see it very well on a stream with a light behind it. I don't think you'll see it at all. What is cool with these is obviously the fact that, you know, you essentially charge it up, and so a couple of these old CDV ones I've got are still like were charged 6 months ago and they're still very accurate. But yeah, that was weird. I don't know what set that off then, because it was just when I sat down on the bed, wasn't it? Let me just do that again. No, and that time it's not done anything, so I have no clue what just made that go off. Maybe like a little EMP spike. Oh, I haven't tested if this is energy proofed, so I can do that. One of the cool things you can do with these little electric, you know, these style lighters, the little electric arc ones, is if you hold them up to an electronic and it's not shielded, it'll go off. But that's still, I think, yeah, that's shielded. That's good. But yeah, with some electronics, you can do it with these and like plasma balls and stuff like that, and they set off the, you know, they completely make them go haywire. But obviously that one's shielded. No, my favourite gas mask is certainly not a GP5M. It's probably the C50 now, but I still like the FM12 a lot. No, Rich, I guess I had one where somebody was saying, like, you're full of shit, basically. Why do you make videos if you don't know what you're talking about? But nearly every word they spout was misspelt. So it reminded me, if you look at, like, Old English where people spout phonetically, it reminded me of that. And I thought I should have screen capped it before I blocked the guy, but I thought it was funny that, you know, he's like, you're full of shit. Why do you make videos if you don't know what you're talking about? But you couldn't spell a single word right in what he was saying. Not at the moment, Mike, because the lady I walked them for moved. So she sends me pictures of them now and then. But yeah, she moved. But she was quite lucky when she moved, because I think if she hadn't have moved when she did, when we had all the heavy rain and flooding a couple of weeks ago, her house is in an area that would have been flooded. So at the moment in the week, I've just got more free time, but I still end up doing stuff. But so you're saying I was going to get one of those plasma lighters, but saw one of the videos saying they were more of a gimmick in some cases. Yeah, it depends on how they shape the elements. I've got one. I have one that's like better than the others because of how it's shaped. But yeah, with the plasma lighters, the best one I've got is the one that's like a stick with. And I think the reason they don't make them like that is because some people think, oh, use it like a taser, even though it's just going to make you go, it's not. It doesn't have anywhere near enough current in it to actually, give you a proper like stun shock kind of thing. But yeah, the weird thing with them is that I'm just going to put these dosimeters next to that Geiger counter again just to see if anything happens, but doubt it will. But yeah, so what was, yeah, no, there's still barely any radiation registering. But yeah, what was I going to say? That basically, yeah, the best one I have is like a stick style one. Yeah. So, and that's exactly that, because the lid doesn't get in the way. You can literally light little candles or anything with it. Because like I said, this type of one I've got is fine for like cigarettes and things like that. But the problem is quite often with a lighter, you want to use it for other things. One problem with an electric lighter though, especially ones that don't have plastic housing, so like this one, because it's meant to look like a Zippo, is that if you're holding it and using it, and you get it too close to a metallic surface, it will short through you and shock you. So yeah, that's one thing with them is don't. I'd say ideally get them with a plastic outer case or like a rubberized case, because otherwise it's very easy for it to go through you. Like if you get it close to anything metallic. So like I said, today's a bit annoying because I'm waiting in for a bloody parcel some of the day, but that's good. Also, I've got a thing that looks a bit like a butt plug, but it's not. Just in case anybody was wondering what this was. It's actually out of frame, isn't it? But it's that's an old. I bought one of the really old British Army Geiger tubes. I've got one of these somewhere in storage that the old Mark I contamination meter used, and this one still works. So if I have it on my rate meter, you can hear it ticking away slightly there. But yeah, it's just a beta sort of X-ray gamma GM tube. But obviously because it's background radiation in here, it's barely doing anything. But I have done a video where I tested it and it does work, but it overloads pretty easily because these only went to 10 millirontgens on the actual counters they're on. But I do like the fact it's got like a nice rubberized housing. Because basically it'll be like a glass or metal tube inside there, but that's designed to, like, stop you breaking it easily. And also so you can wipe it clean easily if you contaminate it. Yeah, it's also like the noises Geiger counters make when they scream when it's really high. Oh, the only thing I've got in here actually that's radioactive, but this won't be sensitive enough, I don't think, for it, is yeah, it does turn itself off, or it's probably just a battery saving feature. Is this thing here? The tritium bits in these, but again, tritium is such a weak radiation emitter that, yeah, I doubt that will register on there at all, because it's got the tritium vial and then it's got the plastic case on this. But these are cool because they glow in the dark. But there's only even old tritium, but I bought these ones. These are the army ones that have quite a lot of radium in, not radium because it's tritium, but yeah, 1.1 teracuries, I think that is TCI. But yeah, because these ones are from 03, so 2003, the tritium's only had a couple of half-lives, so it's still fairly bright in the dark. But the problem is obviously with tritium stuff like these is that tritium doesn't last very long at all in terms of brightness. So what you have to do is, like, so if you buy like a new keyring tritium vial, like I've got on my keyrings, they're pretty good, but they're obviously very small because the problem is tritium's very expensive normally. So you can only get little tiny vials of it for a good price. So, oh, I have rigged up as well, and I have to be careful because I can shock myself with this. I have found a way of rigging this up so I can connect it to things more easily. So I've got one of those adapters that lets you use a 3.5mm plug with a CDV 700 on there, and then I've just modified it slightly so it screws onto this with a slightly different screw fitting. And then basically yeah, you can use stuff with this. So I have to try it again with obviously you have to be careful because if I put this on, then this is like a 400 volt little thing, but not as in 400 volts like wall current. It's, you know, it's one of those, it will shock you, make you jump, but doesn't hurt you because it's very, very low milliamp or whatever it is. It's just very high, you know, voltage. Depends what type you want, Sanctum. If you buy a modern one like this one, £30, $50 sort of price. If you buy a really good old retro one, they're more collectible, so they cost more. And if you buy a really high-end industrial one, you know, that is basically for really, really kind of scary situations, they often cost a lot more. But again, on eBay, let's see what... Some wrote, "You are dead," but and then deleted it quickly. Wrote, "Are you deaf?" Grammar matters well. But yeah, did I put them in this drawer? Oops, or the other drawer? Because I sorted some of my dosimeters out yesterday. I'm trying to remember which drawer I put them in. Yeah, because I've got a spare battery coming for what this one. The battery's expired and it has a very unique lithium battery. But did I put it back in this drawer? Or did I leave it out somewhere? So I have a really cool, like nuclear industry one I like, but I might have left it out somewhere. I thought I put it back in the drawer, the other one. Yeah, in this drawer is definitely not. No, that's weird. But yeah, so like the nuclear industry ones are really cool because of how small they are. So just to show you properly, the ones that people wear, like modern day ones on their belt, are this big, and it has like a little digital display at the top. But like I said, this one annoyingly requires a unique battery, and I tried to wedge the same voltage but smaller battery in there, some like foil, but it hasn't worked, so it's going to need oh, did I just beat that? Did that fucking turn on? That's weird. Maybe the battery made contact properly for a couple of seconds and then stopped. But yeah, I thought I put my Thermo Fisher in there yesterday, but maybe I put that somewhere else. Doesn't matter anyway. Unless I put it in the other drawer, but I thought I moved them all to one drawer. But yeah, it doesn't matter, like I said, because when I get out properly for a video, I'll get out. But like I said, I actually had it yesterday and was using it to do some tests with it, but I've done videos on them already. Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. I've got one. Yeah, with the very old ones, that's the problem. Yeah, because the old British ones, like the Mark II Radioactive, that used, but hello, Jason, I'm all right. That used a 9-volt and a 30-volt, didn't it? It was like plus the D cells. So again, they're really annoying. But there are like mod ones. I wonder if I've still got the MD3 here. Because I've been clearing stuff up, I did spot my old MD3. Ah, yeah, I've got one here. Now, this is my modified MD3 where I've cut the ionization chamber open so I can use it with alpha sources. But yeah, so battery test. Need to do that first. So battery test, yeah, that's in the battery test zone. Nope. Not it anymore. Nope. I think I'll adjust its current. Yeah, the old this is the old Mark II Radioactive where they modernised them. Person speaking in another language, I can't reply to you because you're speaking another language. That's got the lovely whine of a high voltage circuit that will give you a horrible shock if you stick your finger in there. But does react well to radioactive sources, which is nice. Like americinium, it will pick up really easily with that. The other cool things of these is you can stick a bit of americinium through that little hole there as well. That's the americinium like thing. And then for beta radiation, it's got this little cover, the little what you call it. Ooh, it's quite hard to undo sometimes. There we go, like a little bit of. Yeah, so on that, when that's over, it's meant to stop beta radiation and only let gamma through or whatever. But yeah, I like these meters a lot. The weaponized bricks, basically, because you can could do that if you wanted to with them. Yeah, Moscow sends us shit equipment and wonders why things go wrong. Let me scroll up, Jason, and catch what your comment was, because I totally missed it in all the things. Because the problem is with doing the vertical streams. Oh, large Canadian green C4. Right, I don't know about the mod, but so that means I assume that you can't replace the skull cap easily. But it's meant to be just standard 40mm NATO because it's Canada, which is a member of NATO. I think Canada's in NATO, aren't they? They're part of the, like, NORAD or whatever it is, North American Aerospace thing. But yeah, C4 is just a 40mm Canadian modern sort of mask. Again, like one of the best little Geiger counter things you can get, although it's not technically a Geiger counter. Hang on. Is one of these. The Radioscan 101s and 102s are very good. This one's the 102. Because these are technically scintillation counter spectrometers. So they're a lot more sensitive than the Geiger counter. It's still getting the same radiation as a regular Geiger counter. It just can pick it up from further away. But these are really good because they can show you the spectrum. I wonder if this will pick up tritium, actually. Probably not with the tritium, because again, that you need like the tritium vial properly exposed, and then with basically something that's really sensitive to like, you know, like an alpha probe, basically. Yeah, that's a bit weird, but okay. Yeah. Yeah, German World War II helmets were, well, the design is good, but a lot of the German World War II helmets were made from really low quality steel. So basically, the design of the helmet's good, but depending on who manufactured it, depends if it's a good helmet or not. Yeah, I know what you mean, but yeah, it's a bit of a weird design. I don't think that's standard, is it? But yeah, so anyway, I won't be on too much longer, because like I said, today's the annoying day of waiting in for a fucking parcel that has to be signed for. It's one of those, even though it's one of those parcels that shouldn't in theory need to be signed for, it's one where you can't tell the courier to leave it. It's like, if you don't sign for it, we won't deliver it to a neighbour. You know, it's like whatever the insurance of the company wants them to do. Like, even if it's not worth that much money, it's one of those, if you're not there at the door when we come and you don't sign for it, we're leaving with your parcel again, and then we'll retry the next day, and then if you don't do it, you have to pay us to set a delivery day. Is the Finnish M39 that World War II one with like the kind of black, sorry, like the grey rubber hood one? I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but if so, that's a good mask, yes. I mean, that's quite a bit for one, but I think every mask's expensive now. Yeah, thanks, mate. Mike, I've been managing to put on weight at the moment. Obviously, with my job, I'm quite sort of out and about and doing stuff. So I tend not to get too fat unless I, have like a load of time off work and then I'm just eating a lot. So yeah, I'm about 75 kg now, which is around the weight I want to try and maintain, 75 to 80 kg. And obviously work out when I can. So more of that weight is muscle rather than fat. But yeah, I've been lucky that my ulcerative colitis hasn't been bad for a while. I've had that like annoying like flu-y cold thing for a couple of weeks that's just not gone away. But I haven't been, I'd say, in over a month or two, like properly ill. The worst time I got ill recently was when I think I had a stomach bug, but like everybody else I know got it. So, I felt like shit for a few days and was vomiting and stuff like that. But then a load of other people I know got it as well. So that wasn't something down to me. I think that was just a bug. But yeah, the good thing at the moment, at least, is my colitis is has been quite well behaved. Like I still get a bit of pain from it and have to take painkillers, but it's not been like causing like the horrible blood loss and that where you start losing weight rapidly. But yeah, at the moment I've got, but I said a load of my co-workers have got it as well, and people I know around the country have had this like cold flu thing for the last couple of weeks where the worst of the symptoms are gone, but yeah, I've still got bloody like sinuses still feel quite blocked up. Yeah, it's just sometimes, Mike, it's luck. It's the weird thing. It's like sometimes you can be taking the medication every day, and it can still flare up and be annoying. Like sometimes recently, I actually forget on some days to take the medication, even though you're meant to take it daily, and it's been quite well behaved. But that, like, the medication is something I have to take, because if I stop taking it, like a few days in a row, I'll really quickly see it start to deteriorate again. But what I'm saying is it's sort of been good enough at the moment that even if I have a day where I forget the medication, it's actually, not suddenly going really bad. And that's the thing, it hasn't flared up in a while. So although I get, pain with it now and again and stuff like that, it's not got to the stage where for like a week, I have to keep running to the toilet, and I'm losing a lot of blood. So that's good. Now, one thing Nick's Knives, when he was on, recommended, which is really good, is this stuff, smelling salts for a cold. And yeah, this stuff is pungent. Fucking hell, yeah. I can smell it even from there. But yeah, this stuff is actually quite good smelling salts. I was also using a bit of Tiger Balm that Radioactive recommended as well, a bit like Vic. I was just putting some on the top of my chest. But yeah, the white Tiger Balm is quite good because when my glands are swollen, like around my neck, if you rub a bit into your glands, it does kind of make them feel not as like painful to the touch. Yeah, there's so many masks though. Back in the day, you could get for a decent price, and now you can't. But yeah, that's just a way of things, isn't it? Though with yeah, it's got ammonia in it. So this mic has eucalyptus and ammonia in. So the closest thing that it reminds me of is I had some plant fertilizer that I think must have had ammonia in. Because I know if you got that anywhere near your nose, or like you put too much on a certain plant, for a couple of seconds you almost couldn't breathe. I think where the ammonia hits your nose waves. But yeah, it basically feels, it's kind of like having an electric shock. Well, I've got the banana oil here. It's still smelly, but a lot of it's evaporated, as you can see. But this stuff is better than the banana oil in terms of if there's a gap around the mask, you'll smell it. Yeah, those are spray and air freshener everywhere. But yeah, this is like kind of like when you have an electric shock. Yeah, it's ammonia-y. So like your nose muscles or whatever react to it. So that's why I think it unclogs your nose and congestion and everything. It's because obviously, like, the thing is, if I kept it down here a bit, like if you put Vic on your chest or whatever, it's getting into my nose, but not at the thing where it's actually like, really inflaming it. Because I think with this, you're not meant to have it too close to your face. Because I think when it's too close to like nose and mouth, it starts like kind of swelling up your nose or whatever. But at this sort of distance, yeah, it's quite good because it will basically loosen up whatever's in you. So I said it's not very pleasant for a stream, but if you have a big whiff of this, and you feel congested, it's a bit like when you take cough medicine, it will start getting everything flowing out of you pretty quickly because it almost forces your nose muscles to change around. But also, if I'm looking a bit better as well, it's because when I'm sitting on this bed with my back straight, unlike the computer chair, my frame looks better. Because when I'm sat in the computer chair, I'm sort of slouched like that. It's a cheapo pine one I've had recently, but yeah, I haven't done any of those tests in a while because again, as fun as they are, I don't know. It's just like a lot of the masks. You know, I only could really do it on the really crappy old masks. A good test, like on the modern masks, you know, they're always going to work anyway. But yeah, like I said, this stuff I definitely recommend if you want to if you've got a cold. Like I said, Nick Snives recommended it, and it's actually a really good shout. Because like, yeah, the banana oil is a pleasant smell. Well, it's nail varnish remover, isn't it? Isomyl acetate. But yeah, that's kind of like not to recommend it to everybody because I already got a medical misinformation, not a strike, but I had a video taken down because YouTube didn't understand what sarcasm was. So I have to be very careful what I say. But this is kind of like what it smells like when you have a fresh bit of like glue or something like that. But again, don't do anything stupid with things like glue. Well, marker pens, that's another good one. Marker pens. Yeah, I can't imagine doing a line of smelling salts. That would massively fuck your nose up. But oh yes, I thought when the Geiger count was clicking away then, but no, that's just because of the this. If people want to see this one actually do something, I'll go get a sample. Hang on, I won't get anything too dodgy to hold in my hand, but I'll get something that will make it actually do something. So 1 second. You don't want the smelling salts falling over there. Oh, I imagine if that smelling salt thing fell off and shattered, that would be very pungent room. Right, don't mind holding this one because it's sealed inside. This one's sealed inside there, so the beta gets out, some of the beta and the gamma, but the alpha radiation doesn't get out, and more importantly, the radon doesn't get out, and no dust can fall off. So there we go, old World War II British aircraft dial. So this isn't a speed indicator because it says knots. I wonder if some of the ships had these as well with knots, like radium. Probably a lot of ships did have radium dials as well, but as you can see, this one's more sensitive because it's picking it up from there properly. And that one, the cool thing is with this one is it will know what radioactive source it is in a minute. So if I set that to, need to go to the spectrum mode. Oh, there we go, it's going off. Right, you shut up a minute. Spectrum, there we go. It'll work out from that, basically, if you use the app on your phone, which I can't show you while I'm streaming, that you've got radium there, basically, because it looks at, you know, the spectrum of what it can see. And then goes, oh yeah, that's radium. But yeah, so this one, I made a little tiny hole in the case where the tube is, just so that it can register beta a bit easier, the softer beta. But yeah, there we go. Look, that's now going up. It's actually a bit too bright for the phone to see it properly. There we go. Oh, the one I was just using, that's a Radioactive 102, this one. The RRP on a Radioactive, I think, is about between 100 and 200 pounds, but they're very, very good for that price. Now, as a disclaimer, Radioscan, the company, sent me them for free. But I'd happily pay that money for these because they're really good for what they are. So it's not technically a Geiger counter. It's a gamma spectrometer. But it picks up beta radiation because I've tested it on beta-only sources, you know, ones that don't give off any gamma. And it picks them up. And it's very sensitive, which is the other cool thing. All right, Hype. So yeah, like I said, if I pop it there, this particular one maxes out, I think it is at 10 millisieverts or 1 Rontgen. I think is what this one maxes out on. I think one of their ones goes higher than that, but I can't remember which one it is. Right, let me just go to monitor mode. So yeah, you see there, it's telling me that, oh dear, it's very radioactive. And it works as a dosimeter as well. So if I put this onto dosimeter mode, or dose mode, yeah. See now, since I've last reset it, 364 microsieverts. And with something like this, that should go up quite quickly. Although I've got hotter ways that I can make this go up, but I'm not just going to hold them in my hand to do a stream. But So there you go. It's gone to 5. But yeah, right. I'll pop that away. And like I said, the if you want to hear the butt plug one working, just pop that there a second. Put the butt plug old British probe there, and then might have to adjust the voltage slightly. Hang on. Yeah, I've got it a bit too low for this probe to work efficiently. And also, it's not grounded properly, by the way, with me. It's the only issue. Doing it like this, the rate meter needs to be grounded technically, which it's not grounded, so it works better on the floor than on. You can hear it tick away. Oh, why did it tick really fast all of a sudden? Is there a better connection? It just lost a better connection, or? Oh, it might have shorted between the two cables. That's one of the other things you have to be careful of. It was working better than this earlier. But again, it might be because it was on the floor. Let me just try adjusting the voltage a bit higher. I think that's it. There we go. Yeah. This actually seems to work better in scintillation mode than I can get a tube that works perfectly with this, even though every GM tube should work. No, the probe's not short. I mean, this one will short with a DP2 source, but again, I think this one probably is only picking up some of the gamma. Yeah, the butt plug. The British Army butt plug. Let me get rid of this probe a second. But yeah, this is what the old Mark 1 contamination meters used. But again, this is only designed to go up to 10 millirontgen. Technically, that's all the counter it was on went to. Let me get wherever my better thing was I had. Where did I put it? A bit like with my Thermo Fisher, I had yesterday my Soviet tube somewhere. Right, I can't see where I've put the Soviet tube either that works well, but what I have got here is an actual alpha scintillation probe for it. What was the voltage this worked with? Oh, it's actually an MOD thing as well. So if you don't know, this is actually a proper scintillator because it's a big alpha scintillator because it's got the big crystal in here. So what I can do is, and it's got a drawer so you can put your sample in there and then read it without anything else interfering with it. But if I get a screwdriver, I can probably... Right, let's turn the radio code off a minute because that's just going to angrily beep at me in the background. So I'm just going to get my electric screwdriver a minute, even though I was going to end the stream a minute ago. I sure won't get the electric one. I'll just... Right, you go off, so I don't have... I know I can mute it, but still. Right, and I've got this looking at my face. That's a great idea, isn't it? Can you see your gas masks? What, from this room? No. I've got one right down there. But I can't, I have to go around the corner to see it. I think it was Flathead, wasn't it? I think this is the bit I need to remove from the housing to just get the probe out on its own. Right, put the screws in that case so I don't forget them. Don't lose where they are. But yes, for some reason I've got a Soviet, and apologies, my nose is getting a bit runny now because like I said, I've still got the cold and I've had the smelling salts out which do their job. But yeah, I had the Soviet bloody... Oh, I found where I put the Thermo Fisher. Okay, so anyway, let me just do this in a second. So the Thermo Fisher is here. So this one as well. It's quite hard to show, but that's got a beta window at the bottom there. So if I put that here, it's remember, yeah. So I'll tell it to stop its alarm. You can see that it says like 100 microsieverts an hour on there, 130. Yeah, the Thermo Fisher one's really nice, but the only problem with the Thermo Fisher... Oh yeah, cheers, Hype, yeah. I was saying the only problem with this one is that I can't bloody reset it because it's designed that you have to plug it into like a little computer thing to reset it, you know, so workers, if they get exposed to too high a dose, can't erase it to carry on working. If, you know, it's one of those things where after a certain dose, you have to, like, you know, not work with radiation for a certain period. That's why these are like password protected, but this one doesn't actually have a password. It's got it needs to physically plug into a thing, and I did buy the cable to plug it into my PC, but then I found out I had to have the really expensive Thermo Fisher software that I can't buy as a regular person because it's sold directly to like big companies. So I was like, oh, and it wasn't on Pirate Bay either. I did check that. But anyway, we were going to get the alpha probe out of here. Then I can test it with my tritium, if I can still remember where some of my tritium is that's not like that lot inside there. Because, again, I think the plastic on that stops nearly all the tritium's thing from coming out. There we go. That's that coming off. I haven't used this in ages. Right, so there we go. There's a nice crystal look. Now, with this, technically, this has fallen off because it's only held on, I think, generally with a bit of friction or a bit of glue or whatever. I don't want to smear the wrong type of glue on there, maybe a bit of jelly. But this is what, if you're holding it up, stops visible light messing with it. All right, so you ready? But yeah, so there you go. There's the crystal. So let's now... Again, I don't know what the voltage is, so we'll turn it right down first. And generally, I think scintillators, are they higher voltage than Geigers? I can't remember. I know ion chambers are generally the lowest voltage of the three. Right, so let's turn that, the high voltage, all the way down. You know, see what this reacts to. Anyway, it might react to more stuff in alpha. Right, that is going to be the positive because it's a red cable, hopefully. The black is going to be the negative. Sometimes I do actually, if I'm doing a load of things, have the proper all the coloured cables to go with the right ones. But when I'm just using two, I just remember red's always positive. Now I need to make sure that they stay away from each other or they might just short out. But okay, let's turn this on. Okay. So I need to go first to EHT. Then turn that up till I start hearing this click. Not just the interference noise that this sometimes makes when you're adjusting it. Right, hang on, pop that down on my lap a minute. Again, I'm not sure what the actual voltage is running on. Let's try a bit higher. Is that working all right now? Annoyingly, I normally have to keep my finger on this to keep it grounded because where I modified the case, it's messed the grounding up. See if it reacts that at all. And that's not necessarily the noise it should be making. Right, back to EHT. Electronic, it's only set to 500 volts at the moment, might need to be more than that. Try in sync mode now. Any better? No, I'm just tapping that higher there, that's not actually it working properly. Yeah, I don't actually remember off the top of my head what the... Oh, I think that's going now. There we go. Oh, has it stopped again? Again, part of the problem is this isn't grounded properly. Let me put it on the floor a minute. Sometimes simply putting this on the floor grounds it better. But no. Because normally a thing like this reacts to... Oh, there we go. That's reacting to the... Ow! Ooh. I electrocuted myself then. That was fun. Right, let's turn this off. Oh. Hello? Oh, is it working now? Oh, there we go. Or is that the contacts hitting each other? So I think it's reacting to the visible light there, because it's not got its cover on it. I probably could hype, yeah. See, it seems to work better when I'm holding it like that, weirdly. But is that because that light is giving off... Or is it maybe the visible light coming through that doorway? So at times, this... Again, I think that's the wires there connecting. Yeah, that is the wires connecting there. But at times it seems to be working, and then oh, the lead's fallen off of it now. Right, I've got a fucking live lead now with 1,000 volts on it, so let's not touch that. Right, off you go. At least that doesn't seem to capacitor discharge into the rate meter. But yeah, that's the only annoying thing. The rate meters, like I said, I think I've got some somewhere that are still with the original plug. But the issue of the rate meters is that they use a really obsolete plug that nothing uses. So you can either try and put a connector into it well enough that, you know, it connects. I'm wondering if, I think I might have another rate meter that's actually got its original connector on it. No, not one I can easily get at. That other one I've done a similar operation to. But I've got them working before, sometimes fine. The high-pitched whine. The high-pitched whine is when it's basically overloading the Geiger counter and it stops clicking. It just goes like a solid... yeah, one of the whining noises is the HV. But again, sometimes you can hear that, sometimes you can't. The other whine is like when the Geiger mode goes full on, like, you know, saturation, and it turns into a single tone rather than, you know, sometimes they turn into a single tone rather than a click, click, click. They just become a sort of noise. Now, I did dig out, still works, but again, the headphones I have got for them, but I can't be asked to get them out. I've got what replaced the rate meter. Oh, not the rate meter, the scintillation sort of things. Anyway, this is an alpha scintillator, the old British Army one. So flick that on. That's not the one to flick it on, is it? That's that one. There we go. So you can see there, it's ticking over. Again, I can flick this to hold the dose, where it will give you a dose. It's got one of those whatever you call them. What's the word for it? Where it's not a I wonder if my ANC cable's the right size to fit on this or not. Probably not. Yeah, and it's the annoying thing, they all have slightly different sized cables. This is what, because these use this sort of aux cables to connect to yeah, again, slightly the wrong size. All these bloody ones are all slightly different size. They're not like NATO sized. But yeah, this I will just get a bit of Americinium and yeah, this is the one that has the big long thing, so you can have it on the floor on a like a big walking chair crutch thing. Because yeah, it's one of those weird ones where the probe can be held like that, or you can have the probe a bit like with the DP5s, like, you know, built into a thing where it just extends where the switches are for it. And the headphones have like an extender on that thing as well. But yeah, let me just, so as we can see in this room, it might pick something up off of this, even though it's not an alpha source. Hang on. I need to turn it off that mode, don't I? So that's the hold mode. Again, because this only really reacts to alpha and very strong beta. Again, with the tritium in there, it picks tritium up if it's... Let me get a bit of tritium if I can find it that's not in a vial. Now, you might be able to see this in the dark, you might not. Yeah, there we go. That actually glows quite well, this bit of tritium, because it's a new bit. There we go. Red encased tritium. So if I get this out of its packet, which I haven't actually opened yet, I don't think. Or did I open it? Anyway, first let's see if it can read this tritium through the thing. No, it can't, because it's tritium and it's so weak. Cheap mask that uses NATO filters. I did a video fairly recently on a good industrial one. Again, now I haven't got a knife on me to open this. Got a screwdriver it, I can't break the tritium, so I need to be careful. Yeah, what was that one I recommended fairly recently? But again, depends on what country you're in, because that will depend on what you can find on your surplus market. Again, it feels like it's meant to come apart like this, but... Oh, here we go. I've just broken it open that way. Right, here we go. Right, very careful, because tritium is fragile, because it's a glass tube with radioactive gas inside it. So, let's see. Yeah, you can actually see it glowing quite well like that. Let's see if this can react to the tritium. No, even this is too, it's finding this too hard for the tritium, I think. Oh, no, it's reacting slightly. It's like every now and then it will pop up a little bit. So like there, it's 166, but again, this is a fairly weak tritium sample. Just wondering if the Radioactive picks this up, actually. Again, I know it will be picking up the aircraft dial in this room anyway. Yeah, it's ticking slightly faster. But yeah, by barely any amount. I need one of my alpha counters to do this, and I don't have any of them handy. But yeah, pretty bit of tritium. Which one was the IMD2? The name sounds familiar, but I can't think which meter it is. Oh, actually, saying that, the Yugoslav one, I think that was something free, is under my bed down here. That's the DRM3. Yeah, the DRM3. I'm not sure if it's beta only or Again, this is going to be hard for you to see it because I'm in the dark. Have I even got batteries in this at the moment? Yeah, okay. That's the open section. No, this is beta, not alpha. Right. Never mind, let me put this anyway in the thing that. Right, I don't want to damage the tritium. I'll put the light back on. Anyway, I am going to have to go soon. I've turned this floor into a fucking mess now, like the other room. That's what happens when I do a stream. That as soon as I start, you know, people start, oh, show me this, show me that. The room gets, you know, messy really quickly. So yeah, that's that shoved back in there. Not very well, but whatever. Right, the IMD2. So I've got this at the IMD5. I've got the one that's the equivalent of the DP5. That's a more modern one down there. Again, that doesn't do alpha. Again, I don't. Yes, the annoying thing is I don't know if I've got any of my alpha counters handy, even though I've got a couple. It's the problem of, and I can't remember. I put that bloody Soviet tube I was using with a rate meter the other day, even though, like I said, I was using it literally the other day with the rate meter. Not put it on here, have I? Unless I put it just out there or I walk past it. I probably put that Soviet tube, I imagine, in my box of the Geiger bits. Although the KC761 hype sent me might actually pick it up. Again, I'll put this away a minute because this will again mess with it. I timed out hype by accident, right? Can I untime him out? Yeah, I didn't try and time him out at all. Fuck's sake. Don't think I can untime you out, hype, sorry. That was an accident. I'll just apologise to you on the other chat. I think they will close the stream now. Cuboid rotary display. I'm still trying to think. I'm just going to Google it. Because that's... Anyway, yeah, apologies, hype. The frame rate, if that went funny, would have literally been because of the thing. But yes, with this one, this might do tritium. Because if I go to... yeah, thank you. You just sent me a message. Yeah, that was complete accident. If the annoying thing is, if I blocked you, I could unblock you instantly in one of these. But I think with timeouts, you can't undo them. But yeah, this one you sent me. If I remember the key functions, or is this the normal thing? I think this is the normal thing. It just shows on, doesn't it? This mode, anyway. I think that's the normal screen on there. I'm trying to remember now. But this, the pin det inside, don't remove. Even though somebody said if you remove that, it actually picks up alpha better, but I've not removed it. Again, let's just see if this from the back actually picks up again, like I said, because I don't want to remove the thing on the back necessarily. Oh, fall out. There we go. And then I have to tell it I'm using the pin detector mode, don't I? Not the normal mode, because it definitely won't pick that up for this mode. Right. Yeah, I think that's on pin now. Oop. Yeah, it's quite hard to hold this to there. I think that might be slightly picking it up now. Ooh, again, this is slidey. I don't want it to fall off. I think that might be picking that up with the pin mode bit, but who knows? I know my my Radioscan 701, wherever I've put that, picks up tritium absolutely fine. But like I said, you actually need something really with an alpha window for tritium. It's like, oh, I do have something that can pick this up, right? I'm not going to go off just yet. Then I'm just going to do the bloody thing with what if it's still got its batteries in and that. I'll do a video with something that definitely can pick up tritium. Right, so confirm shutdown. Okay, enter. There we go. Right, my German Geiger counter can. And no, sorry, I can't remember where that is, because I remember where it was, and because I've been clearing stuff up, it's not where it was anymore. So it's not messily sitting on my floor. I just remember it being for ages. So look dripped out. I am literally wearing a British Army cheapo fleece, the one that's like an underlayer one. That's all it is. And I've got the old DPM trousers on because they're everyday trousers. I don't mind getting dirty or ripping holes in. The GM 500 is pretty good. I've had that, but I've never had the GMC 300. So again, it depends. I need the really... Again, I'm just annoyed because I've got the rate meter here. I can't remember where I put that bloody... what do you call it? The Soviet tube. Because I was literally using it yesterday for stuff. And I assume I put it again. Did the thing of, I'll put that somewhere safe so I don't break or lose it. And now I have no clue where I've bloody put the thing. I was totally sober as well, which makes it worse. It's not like I've been drunk and done it. No, that's annoying me now, and I bet you it's going to be one of those things that the moment I stop streaming, I just bump into it. Like if I put on my PC desk, because I'm not by the PC, it could be something as simple as that. But like I said, I can't see it at the moment. And I don't think I put it in the drawer where I put those other dosimeters, so yeah. I'm not irradiated. Irradiated is when you actually get covered in radioactive material. And like I was saying, with this, like I said, it's not picking up anything off me. I'm good. Like I said, because that's the thing, is like irradiated is when you like, you know, get covered in radioactive materials. And again, this thing definitely isn't going to pick up this, but yeah, it's doing nothing with that. But as you'd expect. But yeah, what's the warning bit say on here? Warning: remove 4 screws in the flange to detach photomultiplier assembly. Yeah, well, we knew that because we've done it. And yeah, there's your little drawer, look, where you can put your samples in under the thing. But again, and like I said, with that this counter, it did go up ever so slightly with that. If I take this bit off so it's a bit more sensitive, I can just get the thing closer to the little thing there. Flick this on again, never go, it's still on. But so the background it's getting is, ooh, it's actually done something then. Right, let's put that back down. I think that was because it picked up a bit of light. So I'll put that right on it. 128, 128. 149, 144, 144, 134. Again, so it seems this bit of tritium here. 137, 136, 139, 134, 133, 146, 128. Yeah, so this is definitely hide and background with this. It does pick it up, but again, because this doesn't tick, you don't really notice it at all. All right, Nick, I'm going off now, I'm afraid. I've kept saying that, but people have kept leaving me on, and now I've turned the room into a mess because there's Geiger counters everywhere and not a drop to drink. But yeah, I'm annoyed I can't remember where I put that German one, but I've probably put it in one of my storage boxes where I've started storing everything now. But yeah, so I've got a parcel coming later, and I don't know what time that's going to turn up. like I said, that's an annoying one because it's a sign for only one. So I just was hoping I could have a parcel that, you know, I didn't have to wait in for. But unfortunately, the seller's doing the thing of like, because they don't want anybody to get a refund off of them, they're doing the thing of but yeah, Nick, the thing that you recommended that is definitely good is this stuff. Because I was saying on the last couple of streams, I've been happy you've recommended smelling salt. So yeah, unbungs my nose very well. But yeah, so smelling salts are good. Anyway, hope everybody's enjoyed the stream. Like I said, just to show you, because I can flip this around, look. So there you go. On the bed now, look, we've got all these bloody bits of dosimeters everywhere. And on the floor, there's that DRM3, the rate meter and that one. The only thing I can think of actually to try that we haven't tried before I go off with that bit of tritium is if I put the tritium on the carpet. There we go. Then get this one, but again, because this is like Rontgen range, it's probably not going to work, not milli Rontgen range. I need to open the back of it first again. Don't want to crush my tritium. I don't think this is going to work either because of the sort of thing there with this, but let's just see. Turn it on. On the wrong range. Oh, it's shorting out, is it? Oh, this doesn't want to play ball. Why is this playing up now? It was working fine earlier, now this one doesn't want to go back down to 0. Again, I know this because I've modified this one where I've opened the back up. It might mean it's just shorting for that reason, but which it sometimes does, but still. Normally this one's fine. So yeah, BAT test is working all right. Then as soon as I turn it on, it's going off scale. And we're definitely not over 300 centigrade. So yeah, something's causing this one to short. What I might quickly do again, like I said before I go off. This is just getting silly now because I'm extending how long I'm on non-stop. Let's get the good old electrocute yourself device. Now it's lighting up, look, so the circuit's working. Don't know if you can see that, but yeah, I got the light on my little screwdriver. Why does that sound like it's ticking? That's weird, this doesn't tick like a Geiger counter. Shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, why is it stuck off scale? It's not meant to do that. Yeah, the circuit's working. What's up with you, ion chamber? You're not meant to do that. We see circuit's on. I can see sparks coming out there when I stick this in. Yeah, it's going straight off scale. Like, there's not something trapped in the ion chamber, is there? It's good. It's a good old-fashioned method sometimes of fixing these. No, it's just stuck off scale. So maybe I am being horrifically irradiated. Maybe a neutron bomb's gone off, and I'll find out very soon. I'll just check that this doesn't think this one. No, according to this, I'm fine. So I think that meter's just playing up. Just seeing again if I could get the tritium to make this go a bit higher, but doubt I can. Yeah, I do really need to go though. So, oh shit, there did my tritium fly off my finger. Hope that didn't break. I'll have to find out after the stream. Oh, there it is on my leg. That was lucky it didn't break. It just literally, because it got stuck to my hand with a bit of sweat or like static, just went flying off. But yeah, right. Anyway, I will be off. Like I said, I have no idea why this is going off scale. Don't think it's anything to do with the little light in there. I don't know if I've even got a bulb in this one. But again, I'm just going to get distracted by that otherwise. Well, it's a bit. It looks like there's a flake of metal on there. I don't think that's anything, but let's just scrape those off. No, it's not that because it's still playing up. Yeah, that's weird. I've never seen it do it like that before. Normally, it's much better at just resetting itself. I might have to take the entire assembly apart and have a look that way. But yeah. All right, see everyone. You're off. Deal with everything else later, and like I said, I bet that Geiger Miller tube I was looking for will turn up exactly after the stream because I was going to use it. It wasn't behind my coffee mug, was it? I had on there. No, that was just one place I thought it might have been behind my mug where I couldn't see it, and my coffee's cold now. Right, see everybody. I'm going to wait in for a parcel all day.